Young Christian TV is all about stories of faith, life, and inspiration. Today's episode is called Mission Impossible, Galcom Christian Radios, Part 1. Galcom distributes Christian solar-powered radios all around the world. In some areas, there are no roads and no electricity. Radios are dropped in from airplanes via parachutes. Let's watch an interview with Young Christian TV host Fred Widener and Galcom International Director Tim Whitehead to see how Galcom does it.
Tim, I'd like to welcome you today to our studio.
Thanks, Fred.
Tim is with Galcom International. Tim, why don't you tell us about Galcom?
Sure. What Galcom is, we're a technical mission that serves other missionaries, pastors around the world, by installing radio stations for them and equipping them with technology so they can expand their reach and reach more people than they normally would be able to.
Oh, okay. And do you have engineers working for you, or how does that work?
We have 2 engineers, and their whole job is to go around the world installing radio stations and training local pastors how to use them. So they'll put in the transmitter, the tower, antenna, train them to use it, and that one pastor now can reach a 100-kilometer radius instead of just a small village. And then we have a group of people back in our facility in Hamilton where we manufacture little solar-powered, fixed-tune radios locked onto those Christian radio stations.
Wow, that's incredible. And how many radios have you made?
Well, over our 20-year history now, we've made over 800,000 little radios. We call them portable missionaries. No arms, no legs. We can send them anywhere. They don't get sick, they don't get tired, and they preach the gospel every day.
And how many countries have you?
Over 125 countries.
Wow, that's incredible. Tim, does radio really help pastors with their work?
Oh, it does. If you think about a lot of these rural areas, one pastor will be in charge of, say, 10 villages and churches all over the place. And by the time he preaches in one, travels around and gets back, it's been months. But if he's able to leave behind a little radio, tuned to a Christian station, he can preach on a Sunday, leave the radios behind, and then those people will hear the gospel every day in their own language. So it really increases his ability to disciple people and teach them, and they just really progress in their faith a lot quicker than if it was just him working all by himself.
Wow. And what does Galcom actually mean?
Well, Galcom comes from 2 words combined. Com, of course, is the short form for communications. Gal is a unique word. It's a Hebrew word that comes from Psalm 37:5. Commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him, and he'll bring it to pass. The Hebrew word for commit is gal. So we commit everything we do in prayer to God. We trust him for our needs. We trust him to help us when our guys are in dangerous areas installing radio stations or dangerous areas distributing radios. And we also have a commitment to communicate the gospel. So commitment to communicating the gospel worldwide.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, we actually have one of your radios in our studio.
Yeah.
Tim, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, well, all the radios we make are solar powered. That way we can reach into the most unreached areas, way up in the Andes of Bolivia and Peru, into the deserts of North Africa, the islands of the South Pacific, where people don't have electricity. We forget that most of the world still doesn't have electricity,
Wow.
Not even running water. So we do everything solar powered. And the other thing that we do is we fix tune the radios. There's a little switch that's on or off. You can't change it to any other station to where governments use the radio for propaganda. It's exclusive listening to the gospel. And that's what these are. We're making them real strong plastic so they don't chip, they don't break, they last for a long time. We have rechargeable batteries so they can listen to them at night. We make them really sturdy so these will last for 5, 10, 15 years.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, we've got some pictures. Tim, maybe you can tell us about some of these pictures?
Yeah, well, like I said, the radio is great for using one missionary able to reach more people. A missionary by the name of Jerry Wiley, who works for Wings of Mercy, was really concerned about reaching people up in the Sierra Madre Mountains in Mexico. There's no roads up there. It's 3 weeks by donkey trail. So he would fly over in his airplane and drop the radios by parachute. Turn the radios on, drop them in a village, and this is the first time some of these remote indigenous tribes would ever see anything like a plane or a parachute or a radio, and it's the first time they would ever hear the gospel. We've had stories now, they would come out of the mountains looking for someone to tell them more, looking for someone to give them a Bible that they've heard about on the radio. Just amazing things. They're planting their own churches now. It's incredible things using these little tools.
Wow, you can just see the look of amazement on that child. I'm sure that child has never seen a balloon before, and here a parachute drops out of the sky.
That's right.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, are they allowed to keep the parachutes?
Oh yeah, we find that when a missionary finally gets up into these villages, they've used the box for things, they've used the parachute for things, they don't throw away anything. Wow. A lot of these people, they're scratching a living off their earth, and you can see there, not much is growing in that area. They may grow some potatoes or other things, but there's not a lot up there. And this is just incredible to give them all of these things, but especially the Word of God.
I hope you enjoyed our interview with Galcom International, and be sure to tune into our next episode. This is Stephanie for YoungChristianTV.com, and God bless.